me share the screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we'll go through the syllabus, the concepts which will be covered as part of your syllabus, and then we will begin with the first unit in today's class. So as you know, this cloud computing is a theory paper. Total number of hours allocated for this is 50 hours, and I don't think so we require 50 hours because the syllabus is very less. We can cover up within 40. Okay, and in a general form, that the main paper you are going to write for 80 marks and IA for 20 marks, a total constituting 100 marks. Again, the syllabus is divided into 5 different units, a standard division, and each of the units carries equal importance for the mass distribution for your final exam. The first unit, we will discuss about the basics of cloud computing, the basic concepts about all those, the definition, the overviews, the applications of the cloud computing, and how we can classify or how we can differentiate between the intranets and the cloud, and how can we use in cloud in the intranets, okay? And what it makes the necessity factors to use the cloud computing, okay? And the benefits of, if we are using the cloud computing, then what are the benefits of that, and at the same time the disadvantages, rather we can call it to be a limitations of the cloud computing usage, and the different vendors or the companies who provide the cloud solutions to the users, or it could be an individual user, or it could be a any business. So the companies who are in the current market who are offering the cloud services, and the different types of the cloud services. Okay, so the basics of all the cloud computing will be covered in the first unit. So the concepts of first unit are very helpful or useful in order to understand the unit 3, 4, and 5. The concepts of unit 1 are useful in order to understand the units 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and in the second unit, we are going to deal upon the different technologies, okay, which exist or should be used in order to develop the infrastructure of the cloud computing. So in the first part, we will look upon the hardwares and the infrastructures to develop the clients, the security models, or the network architectures and the services. And in the second part, how we can, if once the hardware and infrastructure is made ready, and then what are the technologies that we need to involve in accessing those particular cloud infrastructures or the cloud services. What could be the platforms, the technologies used in that particular platform, the web applications, web APIs, and the web browsers. And then a small introduction part of the cloud storage, the overview of that, and the vendors who are providing the cloud storage offerings. And the standards or the protocol standards, you can say, which are used in developing the applications, the client devices, the infrastructures, and the services. The unit, out of all the 5 different units, the technological terms are used, or we are going to study the technological terms only in the unit 2, whereas all other 4 units, it is going to be a pure theoretical oriented concepts. Okay. And unit 3, we will focus upon 2 things. First one is the services as a software as a services, which is one of the cloud service. Okay, we usually call it to be a SaaS, the SaaS. Okay, the overview of that and why this particular software as a service got a big advantage, the driving forces of that one, and different companies or the vendors who are offering these products, and the different industries who are using this software as a services and uh, gaining more advantage out of the cloud computing or the software as a services applications. The second is the software plus services. This software plus services is nothing but the software as a services within an mobile devices. Suppose when the software as services are taken care or embedded inside the mobile devices, then we can call them to be in simple terms software plus services. Okay. The concepts about the software plus services we will look into unit number 3. Then in the unit 4, we are going to look upon the different vendors who are developing the applications for this SAS or the other services. And then we will have some basic information about the local clouds and the thin clients. There are certain concepts about local clouds and thin clients that we will look upon. And one of the major important concept of cloud computing where virtualization is made use. So what we mean by virtualization and how it is being used, what are the different techniques used over there, we will look upon the unit number 4. And fifth unit, very short, very simple concepts are there, the migrating to the cloud. So the cloud services, if they're there, then how it can be used by the individuals and how it can be used by the mid-market businesses or the enterprise classes. So you can just think about these three is like, suppose if someone is not using the cloud services and they want to migrate to the cloud, then how it can be done, right? At an individual level, we can migrate to the cloud, the procedure for that one. For suppose if there are certain businesses, the middle level businesses, which are not a large business, right? A low level or a middle level businesses, then what are the structure they have got to migrate to the cloud? And for the big enterprises, what are the different types of the services available and how they can migrate from their local database to the cloud database. So the migration details we are going to look on in the fifth unit. So this is all the five, these are the 5 different units and the syllabus which is prescribed for you. And the reference book, there are different reference books. The first one is Welte and Welte. We usually call it as Welte textbook. Your entire syllabus is framed from this particular textbooks. We do have many textbooks available in our library, and I do have a soft copy of that, and I will share with everyone. Okay, probably by today or tomorrow, I will share with everyone so that you can have a look at the textbook also. Apart from that, there are 3 more reference books prescribed for you, but I would prefer to go with the first one, as the most of the, not most, 99% of the concepts are covered from the first textbooks itself. Okay, so let's start learning cloud computing. I want the class to be little interactive, as this is again a theoretic oriented concepts. I don't want students to get bored, so let us have a little interaction while studying. Okay, now I hope you have come across with this particular cloud computing in cyber security. Yes or no? We have studied the overview of the cloud computing, what it is and advantages of it, disadvantages of it, and the services. And even you had got a question on this in your final exam of cybersecurity, right? Now, pay attention to this particular picture. Where is the cloud in this diagram and where is computing happening? Can anyone answer? Look into the picture, and
Internet is the cloud.
internet is the cloud. Okay. And what about second? Where is computing?
In client's PC.
In client's PC. Okay. Any other answer?
So where the client is going to access.
Sir, I think the cloud is the server.
Cloud is the server. Okay. So we have got some
And the
internet is cloud. Server is also a cloud, and computing happening
the
at that
internet
point.
is the medium. Sir,
Internet
I
is
think
the medium.
Internet is the medium.
Mm-hmm.
And the server is where the data can be stored.
Okay. Good. Any other answers? So if I summarize, it is something like this. So the understanding from this diagram is that if you just take out the heading of that, the 2 questions, if you take it out, so if you look into this diagram, it seems to be that, okay, some data is stored in the server side. The data is stored in the servers on the server side, and the connection to the server is happening through the internet. Okay, and the clients are able to access the data. So once it is accessed, does it make it cloud computing? or it is just an internet facility where data is available on the server. Like think of an server of a YouTube. So this is the server of a YouTube, and you want to access certain data, like you want to watch the certain videos. So you have got your client here. So it is connected to the internet and you are just watching the videos. Does it make it to be a cloud computing?
Sir, not entirely.
Not entirely, right? So it is not an cloud computing, it is just an internet facility or internet infrastructure. What it makes to be cloud and the computing. Now, my answer to these two questions, that is, where is cloud and where is computing? My answer is internet. Answers to both the question is internet. If that is so, then we can call this particular diagram or that particular concept to be a cloud computing. Internet will become an mediator or a medium through which a client can get connected to the server and perform the computations directly on the server, not on the client side. The client is just one end where the services will get accessed through the internet, and those services will be hosted on the server. All the computations is going to be happening on the server itself from the client through the internet. So this type of an architecture or infrastructure, we can call it to be a cloud computing. I hope my points are clear here. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Yeah, just a couple of statements here. The metaphor for the internet. So for your exam, definitely you are going to get a 2 marks question, the definition of cloud computing. So cloud computing is a construct, okay, that allows you to access applications that actually reside at a location other than your computer or other internet connected devices. Okay, where the manipulation or the computation is going to take place. Fine. Okay. Now, another discussion. Look into this. Look at this particular diagram now. Observe carefully. I'm going to shoot certain questions now. So observe carefully. Take a couple of minutes. No worries. Read through it. I hope the screen is visible properly and you are able to read the text of on this particular image.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have a cloud, that is intranet, sorry, internet. On left hand side, some computers are there, right hand side, some servers are there, and some content is written for both left and right sides. Now, what can you make out from this particular diagram? Who is the left hand side here?
User.
The companies.
User, the companies, okay. And what about right hand side?
The server farms.
The server side, right? I hope you have read the two statements which are there on the left and right images, just below the images. Okay, now I'm just moving to the next slide here. Okay, now try to answer these questions here. Very simple. Now, who is service provider? What do you think? I hope that image is there in your mind. You can visualize it, what was there, and then based upon that, can you just try to answer who is service provider?
The right hand side.
The right hand side, right? So can anyone or you be more can you try
The
to
one who provides services for any amount we pay.
exactly, very good. The one who provides or who hosts the applications on the cloud, so that all those applications or the softwares can be used by the client side. The client can be a single user, that is individual, or it can be an employee of an organization, right? The service provider is the one who hosts or manages all the applications on the server side, right? Am I clear here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Next, who manages the cost and software updates?
The service provider.
Service provider company.
Service provider company, right? Since the softwares, applications, everything is being hosted by the service provider, then it's his job to manage the entire cost and the any updates if he or she wants to give it to the software. So everything is managed by the service providers only. Okay, yes, very good. Then next, so if there is some architecture like this, then that architecture will be used by whom? To whom it is convenient?
The user.
The users. The user.
Yes,
The user.
the users. Okay, now what type of users here it is? User in the sense it is just a global word, you can say, right? The one who is using a computer is also an user. The one who is using internet is also an user. But the focus
The
is that
customer.
the users who are using cloud computing, what type of users it would be advantageous if they use the cloud computing infrastructures? Can you think of?
So what is the question? I didn't understand the question.
The cloud computing architecture, if it is present, who are the users who can get most out of it? To whom it is
The one
convenient?
who want to subscribe to that cloud computing service.
The one who wants to subscribe to that cloud computing. Okay. Yeah, little more, few more words you can add upon. Who wants to subscribe?
Sir,
The
the
one
one
who are
who
looking for
want
storage
The one
lots
who are
of
looking
storage,
for
sir.
storage. Okay.
online.
Storage all time. Okay. Yeah, little, you are very near to the answer. Someone else?
The one who are looking for storage online, like online platform,
Okay.
and can access anytime, anywhere.
Yes, that is the answer. Anytime, anywhere. Who wants the access to the data anytime, anywhere are the users who are moving from one place to other place, right? Suppose I am the user, I am one type of a user. Okay, I do not have a type of a computing device with me, but I am moving from one place to other place to perform my job activities. Every time it is not possible for me to take up the computer, take up the laptop, along with the laptop, the huge storage device. Suppose if the storage device I require is of, say, 1000 GBs and all, right? It is not possible for me to take that server along with me and then get connected wherever I go. But what I require here is kind of an infrastructure to which I can get connected anywhere at any time, provided I have got internet connectivity, so that I can perform all type of my job activities on the cloud side only. Suppose if I do it at right now, and the update will be available on the cloud. Suppose if my peer member is working from some other company or some other geographical place, that person should have the access to the latest information or the latest data which I have modified. So if it is at the cloud, then it is going to be more convenient for such users. Okay, and the last question: what stops accessing the cloud?
The internet connection, the disruption in internet connection.
Yes, disruption in the internet connection. Since
Also the
everything is
security reason.
security reason, internet connection, yes, are the 2 points. Suppose everything is there, I am using I have been prescribed or subscribed for the cloud activities or the cloud infrastructure, but if I don't have the internet connection and I want to perform certain tasks, then definitely it is not possible if I don't have the internet connection. And even if the internet connection is there, it should have a proper bandwidth so that I can access the data. And secondly, the securities. There should be a proper security so that the data is not leaked from the subscribed users. The third party should not get any data from the cloud. Okay, your entire cloud computing subject is going to rely on these concepts. These are the basic concepts about cloud computing, why it is necessary, what is the service provider, what are the jobs of the service provider, and how one user get connected to the cloud computing services, and what are the essential things in order to get the cloud services. Okay, the same thing I have put it here as the answers. Okay, if you want to read through these particular points, you can go through it, and if anyone is having any doubts, please ask. Couple of minutes, I will just show this particular slide. Read through it and let me know. Shall I move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what are the components which are required to establish the cloud infrastructures? We can have these as the components, right? So you can make out here the client, the distributed servers, and the data centers. So can you make out what these things could be? What could be the client computers? What could be the data centers? And what could be the distributed servers? Till now, we had a impression that, okay, there is a client and there is a service provider, and the communication between these two entities will happen through the internet. But in this diagram, there is something new, right? There is a client.
The distributed servers host data which is stored in the data center.
Sir, a client computer can be the user, data center can be say Google, and distributed servers are the servers of Google from where they are going to distribute the data.
Okay. Can you little elaborate on your second sentence?
Client computers can be us, the user.
Yes.
Data
Perfect.
center is the place from where we are trying to access information, that is say Google. And from Google, they are going to fetch it from their servers, so that is the distributed servers.
Okay, you are almost near to the answer. So the distributed servers and data centers, these two are part of the service providers. Okay, those two will fall under, these two particular parts will fall under the service provider infrastructure, whereas these are the left hand side, that is client computers, are the users. So the client computing, once the service provider thinks that they want to develop an cloud infrastructure, then they can create the applications, they can create the softwares, or if they want to create a data storage, they can do it on their data centers. But it is like, one suppose if they have a particular server or an application ready, then any user, suppose throughout the globe, if they want to give these particular applications to the users across the globe, then it is not that always all these users will get connected to the same server. They want to bifurcate the servers based upon their needs, based upon the geographical region, or based upon the security or legal concepts or legal infrastructure of that particular continent or a country. In order to deviate or in order to bifurcate those things, they need something called as an distributed servers. These distributed servers will help or will guide who or what type of users or the clients will get connected to what type of data in the data center. Okay, that is being taken care by the distributed servers. So the three components of cloud computing: the client computers, that is the user, and service provider will have two different components. One is the data center and the distributed servers. Data centers on which all the applications or the storage is being hosted, and it is being managed by these particular distributed servers. Is that clear? Okay. Now, so clients are simple, right? The clients could be, they can make use of any type of the computational devices. They can make use of a desktop, laptops, mobile phones, PDAs, or any type of a computing device which they can use in order to access the cloud part. Okay. Only the thing they have to ensure is that they should have a proper internet connection. In clients, we can have different classifications, again, different categories we can have. The first one, we call them to be a mobile clients. Second is thick clients, and third is thin clients. Now, I hope the first type of category, the first category is understandable by you, the mobile clients. What do you think? What type of computing devices are will be part of this mobile clients? Can you guess?
Sir, our mobile internet services.
Mobile internet services. You have put up a lot of words there. Mobile internet services. Any handheld devices, right? Like your mobile phones, PDAs, Blackberries, any smartphones. Okay, let me be a little clear here. The syllabus which is being prescribed for you and the textbook which was written, the prescribed textbook was written 10 years ago. To be more precise, 11 years ago now. This year it is 11 years ago. So the concepts which we are studying, I feel little, what to say, the concepts which we are studying in this cloud computing are of 2010. So at that, so if you want to study virtually, you have to go back to 10 to 11 years on the timeline and think of the concepts or the technologies which were existing at that time. So based upon that, these particular cloud computing concepts we need to learn. So at that time, the mobile means what? The mobile could be any handheld devices like PDAs, any smartphones, the BlackBerry devices, right? So those we usually used to call it as a mobile devices. Okay. During that time, Android smartphones were just getting started. We didn't had a lot of Android smartphones on those particular days. Okay, but what we had was the PDAs, the Windows smartphones were there, and the BlackBerry was the most advanced type of a technological gadget we had during that time. And then the two more are thin and thick clients. Can you make out anything by these two words, thin and thick clients? Any
Sir,
wild
I don't know
guesses?
exactly, but I think
Yeah,
thick clients are those which do not depend on particular software. Like for example, Yahoo Messenger.
Okay.
Do not require particular software to be installed
Uh-huh.
or
So those,
server.
that is a thick, is that a thin or a thick?
It is thick.
Thick. Okay. So according, as per your wild guess, it is something, a thin type of a clients are the computing devices which requires software to be installed on that, and thick clients, we no need to install that particular software on that. Am I sounds good according to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Fine. Let's see what it the actual these thin and thick are. Okay. What about others? What about others? Okay.
Sir, I think thick is something which is heavy or a big software, and thin is something which is not so like it can be mobile or it can be on it can be used on mobile or something like that. Or thick needs to be run on a computer.
Okay. Now, first thing, this thick client and thin client are not a softwares. These are the devices. Okay. First thing we need to make it clear.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, secondly, the mobiles are already taken care in the mobile category. Okay. So apart from that, something else can you think of? This is very interesting actually. Let me put up the details of that, then we will discuss on that. Just read through that and try to have a understanding about those two terms. Now, did you get some idea about what a thin and thick clients are?
Yes, sir.
So now tell me, you might be using computer. Suppose if you want to, if you are using any of the cloud services today, what type of clients you are using among these three? It could be one or it could be more than one client as well, right? What are the different categories of these three categories? Which one you are using to access cloud computing? Okay, before that, should I ask
Mobile.
another question? Do you use cloud computing today? Today means in your generation, are you using any cloud computing infrastructure?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So if that is yes, what type of the clients you are using? I got one response.
Thick.
Mobile and thick and
Mobile and thick.
Mobile and thick, right? Very good. We are using mobile and thick, but at certain places, certain type of clients are existing, right? Which belongs to the thin category. The thin client means it is simple as it is again a computer only, but it doesn't have any hard disk on that. So now you may ask, sir, without hard drives, how that particular computer will function? So it does have a little memory to operate or to start the operating system and the other basic stuffs. But all the computation steps will be happening directly on the cloud. All the data, whatever is required, you can call it to be intermediate data, which is required to compute, everything is stored on the cloud side itself. Nothing is going to store on the thin. What it has actually, it will be having just a screen, right, where it displays the data and information. No hard disk, nothing. But whereas kind of you can think a kind of advancement in that one. So if it is required by a particular user to store the data, then comes the picture of a thick client, where it is a thin client. All the functionalities of thin client will be taken care with an additional hard drives, wherein the user can store the data on the local system and if he or she wants to upload again onto the cloud, then they can do it. So in the thick client, the computation can happen directly on the cloud, or sometimes it can happen locally on the machine, and then that data can be re-uploaded back onto the. So both possibility can be done on a thick type of a clients.